Wilson. Brian Wilson. And over there, it's O'Connor. Larry O'Connor.
Shaken and stirred.
And Larry O'Connor, by the way, if you haven't heard, is it's official now. The newest member of the Mornings on the Mall team, effective today.
Yeah.
Welcome aboard, Larry.
Thank you. I'm a little resentful that because I'm the junior member, I have to get everybody lunch and take out the garbage.
That's right.
For the first year.
It's like being the junior member of the Supreme Court. You have to bring water to everybody.
Yeah.
It's
not fair.
We are playing, of course, the Bond music because
we need a break from politics. That's why. And isn't it great that Hollywood's done this for us? It's like right after the presidential election, we're all drained on. Here we go, going into this weekend. It's the big new Bond movie.
And I guarantee it's going to be huge because you're exactly right. People need a break.
They need a break, and they're going to love it. And I got to see it yesterday. I saw it in IMAX, which I'm a huge fan of IMAX now. I really feel whenever a film comes out in IMAX, I make sure that I go see it. And we're lucky enough to live in an area that has a lot of IMAX studios, or theaters, I should say. So joining us now is that I grew up, I shouldn't say grew up, I don't want to make him feel old, but I watched KURT LODER on MTV basically inform me about culture, politics, culture and entertainment on a daily basis, and he joins us now to talk about this film. KURT, thanks for joining us.
Pleasure. How are you doing?
Good, thanks. So go talk to me about Skyfall. Is this is it as monumental as everybody is saying in terms of it being sort of the epitome of Bond films? Now they're hitting the 50th year. They're putting a lot of marketing into it.
Well, they've done. Yeah, it's been an enormous marketing campaign. It's made hundreds of millions of dollars overseas already. I think all the movie reviewers have fallen right into line. It's the greatest Bond film of all time. I think it's very disappointing.
Really?
Yeah, definitely.
Why?
It's kind of depressing because you'll remember the original Bond was this guy with all the gadgets, and he was a lot of fun. His transformation into a modern guy is really complete here. He's emotionally vulnerable. He has concerns about mortality. He has mommy issues. And the movie.
And so does the villain. Yeah, and I don't. We got to tread carefully because we don't want to give away too much. But I think it's fair to say that the babe in the movie that you spend most of the time watching on camera is what, a 98-year-old Judi Dench. That's not why I go to a Bond movie.
Yeah, well, she's the one he has mommy issues with, and the villain, played by Javier Bardem, his whole motivation is he's very angry at him because she betrayed him at some point in the past. So he has mommy issues, too. So
right.
It's all about Judi Dench.
There was a time when the Bond villain wanted to take over the world, and now he just wants to resolve his conflicted issues with Judi Dench.
It's not fun. It didn't strike me as a movie that's a lot of fun, and it once again exists in the shadow of the Bourne movies, which inspired the rebooting of this series like 6 years ago. And a lot of the action is very Bourne. You've seen it before. You've seen the bike race through the Grand Bazaar and fights atop trains and stuff. It's very well done.
KURT, you're bringing me down, buddy. I mean, I was sort of excited about
Well,
this.
it's a fun ride, Brian, but it's all of the other details about it that I'm with KURT. And KURT LODER is our guest, is of course former Rolling Stone editor, and you can currently catch all of his stuff at Reason. Your writing at Reason is fantastic, and I love the approach that you take with these things, KURT. Can we zoom out a little bit and look at this movie? You're talking about how there's no gadgets and he's such a conflicted guy. Is this possibly sort of, unfortunately, a commentary on the new austerity movement in Europe, and they were afraid, the producers were afraid that they would offend the sensibilities in Europe, considering everybody there is trying to scale back and are concerned about the future and overspending and overindulgence?
I think you're giving it too much credit, actually. I think it's, they don't want to step on any toes. There are a lot of toes to step on. There's a scene where Bond is drinking a beer, a Heineken.
A Heineken. It's very clear. That's the other thing, the product placement in here.
Well, apparently the Heineken put up enough money that it covered like a third of the budget. And Omega watches, Coca-Cola. Nobody uses Apple, computers in this movie. They all use Sony Vio laptops, which of course Sony is distributing the movie. And that's nothing new. But I think the movie is essentially PC. It's essentially a rip-off of better movies. It's not very well paced. And at the end, I just was sitting there thinking, where's the fun? I mean, it's just a Bond movie should be fun. I always thought. This just isn't, I don't think.
I'm so depressed.
I'm sorry.
God.
I would say the opening chase sequence is pretty fun.
Okay, well, then I'm going for that.
I think and also, let's talk about it again, to bring Kurt back to his wheelhouse, which is the music industry. Adele's song is getting huge rave reviews. The whole opening sequence is very much classic Bond with the video montage. What did you think of how it fit in?
That's a great song. I love that song. And the opening sequence is, they took a lot of trouble with it. It's very well done. I'm not saying this is a boring movie or it's a terrible movie. It's just...
You had greater hopes.
I didn't really have great hopes, but it fulfilled my diminished hopes.
Let's put this in perspective for our audience. What is what's your ideal Bond film? What are you comparing this up to? What are you holding it to?
Well, I think, my theory was always that Bond was a creation of the Cold War, and he was that kind of guy. He's a womanizer. He was kind of a semi-sadistic knight of the realm going out and fighting for king and country. And with the end of the Cold War, I think that context was gone. The character made no sense anymore. Who is he? What is this 007 thing? I don't think it's made much sense since the Connery days.
It's funny, actually, Kurt, because that's actually one of the subtexts of the film as well. One of the subplots is this whole 007 thing and MI6 thing past its prime. All right, well, this is... Geez, Kurt, thanks for bringing us down.
It's not horrible. Yeah. If you like these movies, if you ever like the Roger Moore movies, you'll probably sit through this.
Listen, you're a libertarian kind of guy, I think. You write for Reason and stuff. Did you have any reflections on on this past week's election and where we're going as a country?
Well, I'm glad the loser lost. I'm sorry the winner won.
That's spoken like a true libertarian. There it is.
I don't know. I don't know. I'm glad it's all over and we can take a day off or something.
Are there any films that you're looking forward to? This is the big run-up now because of the Christmas season and also the Oscar contenders come out.
Yeah, what about Lincoln? Is that any good?
I'm seeing that tomorrow. I don't have high hopes for it myself. However, people I know who've seen it have said it's very, very good. So we'll see.
Any other movies between now and New Year's?
Yeah, there's Hitchcock is coming out with Anthony Hopkins, which I thought was very, very good. It's about the making of Psycho.
Oh, that sounds cool. All right. So we got one positive idea out of Kurt here. Thank you, Kurt.
There are lots of good movies. Come on. Anna Karenina, film version of that comes out next week with Keira Knightley. I thought that was very well done. And Twilight Breaking Dawn too, of course.
Oh, you're not looking forward to that, are you?
Coming your way.
It brings the 12-year-old girl out in you, doesn't it?
Oh, yeah. I'm glad there's something for them to go to.
Yeah. All right, Kurt. Thanks for joining us, man. We appreciate it.
Yeah, don't
My
be
pleasure.
a stranger. We really appreciate it.
Right.
Thank you. That's Kurt Loder. It is 8:15 on 105.9 FM and AM 630 WMAL.
There is another side to this. If reviewers hate it, it may be not a bad film. I generally like the ones the reviewers hate.
Traffic and weather together every 10 minutes. First on the 5s. Here's Jamie Whitten.
Kurt Loder, good stuff. All right, let's...